Hi, I'm Dr. Kurt Woeller. The title of this mechanisms video is "What is the difference between food reactions of IgE, IgG, and intolerance to dairy and gluten?" So this video is sponsored by Integrative Medicine Academy. Integrative Medicine Academy is an online training academy with different mastery courses in various topics related to integrative and functional medicine. For a full list of our courses, go to integrativemedicineacademy.com, or you can email us at integrativemedicineacademy@gmail.com. This is the video disclaimer, understanding that the information in this video is for educational purposes only. So when we think about differences between IgG and IgE food reactions, IgE is what releases histamine. This is what's most commonly linked to people tested for like skin prick, for example, for allergies. It can cause anaphylactic reactions. And symptoms are generally immediate. So it has most clinical usefulness for true allergy, hive, sneezing, rash, for example. But the IgG reactions are actually more common. So there's many more people that have IgG reactivity to food than they do to IgE. And it doesn't typically release histamine, not at least a significant amount. You don't get the immediate effects. It's more of a delayed hypersensitivity reaction, no anaphylactic shock. And so the symptoms sometimes can be vague. It might be joint pain, might be brain fog, might be gas or bloating, for example. And it is the most common food sensitivity profile to run. It has a lot of clinical significance for people with chronic illnesses as well as psychiatric, or at least certain psychiatric conditions. So there are multiple types of food reactions. We can have a food allergy, which I just mentioned is IgE mediated. So a type 1 immediate hypersensitivity, and that's where we get release of histamine. And then a food sensitivity is non-IgE mediated, typically related to IgG production. And IgG, by the way, can fix complement. At least some of the subclasses of IgG can do this. And so you initiate complement cascade reactivity, which can drive inflammation. Now, many people with IgG reactions will have abdominal pain or bloating or gas, heartburn, for example, headaches. And then we have food intolerance. And this is another term that's linked to food reactions and can involve maldigested food. That could happen because of poor enzyme production from the pancreas or damage along the mucosal lining of the small intestine. So even though a food sensitivity does not directly involve IgE allergic reactivity, it still can drive immune activation, even autoimmunity and inflammation. So this is a famous paper that goes back many years, and in this particular paper, these researchers were looking at IgG to casein in cow milk and to gliadin in wheat. And they found that both groups of people with schizophrenia and autism had very high levels. So they're having an IgG food sensitivity reaction to those foods. They also had high levels of peptides. Now, peptides are short amino acid segments of proteins, and they too can trigger an immune reaction, but more commonly, particularly in autism, for example, they can trigger behavioral issues related to this opiate effect or opioid receptor effect. And so the amino acid sequence of these peptides, specifically like casein and gliadin, can cross through the epithelial lining of the gut, cross through the blood-brain barrier, and then interact with opioid receptors in the brain. And what is seen clinically with many of these individuals is a modified pain response. So sometimes kids or teenagers or adults with autism won't respond to pain normally. They might injure themselves, they might burn themselves, they might cut themselves, and not have the same pain response that somebody neurotypical might. They also can have severe sensory dysregulation problems that can be aggravated by these peptides. And then one of the things we also see is constipation. We know that opiate medications can lead to constipation. Well, many autistic individuals also have bowel problems, sometimes severe constipation, that when you remove the gluten and casein from their diet, these underlying problems sometimes resolve. Sometimes they'll resolve completely, or they just might be diminished depending on how long the adverse reaction had been occurring. So when you think of food, right, we've got food allergy, the IgE, but that's not real common. Typically, those are things like peanuts or shellfish or other types of nuts, for example. And then we have IgG, which is much more common. And then we can have this peptide effect. The peptide effect would really fall into the category of a food intolerance, although you could form IgG to casein and gliadin as well. People do. You could also form IgE, but that's just not going to be as common. So we discuss this and many other topics in our autism mastery course, particularly with regards to dietary intervention. We also discuss diet and aspects of IgE and IgG reactivity and peptides and many of our other courses through Integrative Medicine Academy as well. If you're interested in more information on the autism mastery course, I'd encourage you to go to autismmasterycourse.com. And again, if you want to check out our other mastery courses through Integrative Medicine Academy, go to integrativemedicineacademy.com, or you can email us at integrativemedicineacademy@gmail.com. Again, I'm Dr. Kurt Woeller for Integrative Medicine Academy. Thank you.